Good morning, Risk Raiders, Red Raider fans, especially Red Raider fans.
We love the Red Raider
George
fans.
Strait fans,
George
especially
Strait.
people who like to see George Strait at the Jones in Lubbock.
It was something.
Any other fans, especially fans of Risk Raiders?
That's right.
And anything else we got going on?
Welcome, everybody. This is going to be a special show because we want it to be. It's going to be fantastic.
We're on a little different track today.
This is not the same thing. Hold on. You don't know what this is going to be about, and neither do we. But I did. I'm going to tell you, man, the concert, I'm just going into it. I'm going to go into it. I don't want to get into all the insurance part of it, but I saw some pretty cool stuff we'll talk about. But I'm going to tell you what, Texas Tech University, George Strait, Zach Top, I believe it was the Gossip Band. They did it right. They did it right last night. Body, what a great show. But our university, that stadium, it looks so good.
Dude, it's like a native environment for George. Hold on a second here.
So good. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you, this show today is going to be about Brent leaving. Because he didn't get to stay for the show, he picks up and he's back. Okay. So, but I'm just going to say, I think that this is the sort of deal that we need to do a lot. We're going to have to tour the country and follow these people around and go see every one of these shows. If you haven't seen a show, an outdoor concert in a long time, especially somebody's good, I'm not talking about that crappy music that's out there. Don't waste your time. And don't get it where there's like drug guy out at something on the stage. Get people who are musicians, quality. Get outside with some fellow people, and I prefer you hang out with Red Raiders all the time. They are the best people in the planet. Red Raider fans at a concert, nothing better.
Let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
How many guns up did he throw?
He threw at least 3. He did it in the opening. As soon as he came out, he got the guns up. Whoever announced him started off, hit the announcing. So his band comes out on stage. And then the announcer who's going to introduce the king of country. But when they do, the announcer started off with Raider power.
Oh, no way. No way.
That thing
the
was
whole
like
120,000 people?
I
Good
just kept
Lord.
going. They let it go. And then they introduced George Strait comes out and people went bonkers. I mean, and he comes out and then he does the Red Raider fans, goes to the mic, sticks it up and yells guns up. I don't know. I'm just telling you, if you're a Red Raider, that was a big day. I mean, not because of he do it, but I mean, the brand has gotten so good. And I know that Joey McGuire and them are using the brand, but this brand of West Texas, who the Red Raider fans are, I mean, it matches folks like that. And man, the people love it. It was so much fun. And then he did it at the end. He did it one time in between, and I can't remember what it was. But
I've seen a couple of clips of it already, but I didn't know they did a Raider power. Well, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah,
Wow.
the announcer guy did it. George didn't do it, but the announcer guy started it before he introduced him, and it was freaking. Whoever idea it was just masterful. But the crowd
and you had, what, did you have 1,000 people there? I can't imagine
was some
what
crazy
that must
number
have
like that
sounded
because I don't know. What does that stadium hold? Like 65?
Yeah, but you had everybody down on the floor.
Got everybody on the floor, and they still had everybody up in the suites. And I don't know how many they could cram in there. I know that this weekend they were expecting probably between 100 and 160 visitors to our city, but because they're doing 2 concerts. 200,000. Because they're doing it again tonight with a different opening act, but.
Yeah, I think it's Miranda Lambert tonight.
It is. Yeah, I mean, last night was Zach Top, who, like I was telling you earlier, a lot of people in my family knew more about his music than I did. I got basically introduced to it last night as a whole, and I was nothing but impressed. Matter of fact, I was listening to his this morning. I mean, it's kind of not, when I say traditional country, I'm not one people think it's hokey. Y'all all know, if you're fans, you know the music, but it's just great songwriting, great music. It was a great night, but I kind of feel like I got a little kick in my pants. I got a little energy today when I woke up.
No, that's good. No, that means it was good. If it carried over, you're still feeling
I had one
good.
problem.
That was awesome.
One problem. And he does a song, George does a song, Codigo, his tequila brand, which is like my happy spot. I love Codigo. Codigo is not a sponsor. Texas Tech is not a sponsor, so you people don't get wired up. We can talk about the things we like, but no one's putting money into this thing, because if it was, I'd be wearing it and drinking it right now. But I love the tequila, right? And he does a song. He actually did it in his closing act. Does a song on Cadigo, kind of in a Mexico kind of scenario. It's a great song, but they don't have it at the concert.
Why?
Well, I'm sure there's licensing, and I don't know if they were actually doing hard liquor or not last night, which doesn't
Oh,
matter.
yeah, I don't think they probably don't do that
And he
at the
doesn't. I don't
stadium.
think they mess with. It's just his brand thing. But I was thinking the only thing that would made it absolutely perfect was if I had a little glass of Cadigo while the song was playing live.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But I think
But
the hard liquor at a stadium is probably just talk about risk management problem. I would
yeah,
say that's a
and
no-go.
I'll tell you from a risk management standpoint, there is a lot. I mean, lots of people, right? But the crowd control and actually the atmosphere, when you look at those things, right, you're looking at, man, are people getting overserved? Is it going to get crazy? Is it going to get, because I mean, we started live music, started exactly at 5:45, and we went till probably about 11:20, 11:30 between all three acts, and there's maybe 25 at the most 30 minutes between any of them. I mean, because they had everybody, it was a revolving stage, so they had all the bands set up there. So really, it was just actually give people time to either go get a beer and go to the bathroom. From a risk
between the shows.
between the acts, yeah, it was very fast. There was not a lot of time between, so you got this 5 to 6 hours of pure music, basically. But I don't know how Tech did it, and I mean, putting together these concerts is amazing. But really, I did not see anyone. I didn't see the sloppy drunk, the out of control drunk, the people who'd been overserved, the crowd control because there's so many people.
That's a lot of folks, man. In
They
one
were.
place.
And I'm going to tell you, though, they did a great job. I mean, from the area I was on the west side. And, you'd see it. If there was a problem that started or whatever, you'd hear it. People would just start freaking out. But they did a great job. I mean, the risk management, what it would take to control that where people can have fun, enjoy their time. Hey, have a beer if you want one or with a little vodka drinks, or have your hot dog. You don't have to drink if you don't want to.
Just don't get out of control.
Don't get out of control, but it's amazing that they pulled that off. I'm hoping tonight, let's keep our fingers crossed, another good night, but just people in the parking lot, to the risk of people getting hit by a car and all that.
Yeah, it's a lot of people moving around, a lot of vehicles.
Everybody in the car was laughing at me because I'm looking at this stuff going, how they get these people? I'm looking at from the goofy ass, like, insurance guy, like, how do you manage all that?
You can't stop doing it.
No, and I actually went to we parked in the parking garage across the interstate, and I actually looked out the window, and I'm looking. It looks like ants of seas of people, but it was controlled ant movement. It was controlled ant movement, and maybe that's just because West Texas people are the best people. I don't know, because a lot of people coming in from all over New Mexico, Amarillo. I mean, this.
I wonder how many people flew in versus how many people drove in. I bet it's mostly drive-in, don't you think?
No, I mean, yeah, if you're in New Mexico and Amarillo or Midland or something, you're driving. You're not gonna fly
Because
out.
honestly, when I was at the airport yesterday, there weren't that many people arriving like I thought.
Yeah. Well, the flights. I booked a flight for a couple of family members to come in about a month and a half ago. Today I booked it on just a normal carrier, flying from Austin to Dallas, and the flight for two people, it was $900.
Wow.
And you're like, I mean, and this is one that they could probably drive, but on this particular thing, we're like, no, you need it. $100.
Wow.
It's insane to be flying inside the state of Texas for two people for $900. I mean, but that's why
I guess.
Yeah, get in the car and drive. I mean, it's going to be
For
better.
$900, you could rent a car and a driver too.
And you were in town, a little bit this week, and you saw. I don't know if you noticed, but some of the other people, man, the Lubbock Police Department and the DPS and the sheriff's office, man, they were shutting down the traffic, like no speeding. They started last week, and this is probably a pretty cool, I don't know if this is an intentional risk management thing, but I had some company people come in, and we were talking about it Monday because this concert was on a Friday night, and they were talking about, man, there was speed traps, police things all over Lubbock, and I guarantee you they're doing that to calm people down,
tone it down,
tone it down. And I'd love to. We need to get somebody on at some point from either your guys in Houston, or it'd be really interesting to have some of the people come in who kind of handle this sort of stuff, if they can talk to us about the overall concept of how do you prepare a city for these sorts of
Oh man, that'd be great to hear. I know a
Yeah.
guy that would do that for us too.
Well, let's try to get him on
yeah,
because, or if any listener here knows of anybody who can appear on the show, we're not asking them to give all their secrets, but we'd like to know the concept of
it's
how do
kind of
you,
in general how you set it up,
because
for
I
something
think
like
you have
that.
to prepare this environment, and it's not for like storms and stuff. We'll talk about that stuff too at some point. But like a big time event like this, you could either say it's a political, probably be different. But let's talk about entertainment venues. You guys, that rodeo we talked about
Oh,
earlier, the vision side of that are things that I think I would like to hear more about, and our listeners, I think it's pretty cool because everybody goes to these, and you wonder how the hell did I get out of there alive? And the reason why is because a lot of people are doing a lot of work for you.
there's a lot of planning and execution that goes behind people coming and going for something like that.
Oh,
You
and
don't
I'll
even
tell you,
see it because it's there. You don't
it
even
was,
know.
and one of the coolest things that George Strait did in concert, and he probably, I know he admins this stuff. I've seen him before. He's done this sort of thing before because he's a really pro-American guy and pro-law enforcement. This was the big thing. He has a song called, I believe it's called "The Weight of the Badge," that was on one of his ads. But it's about you could either think of it as law enforcement or firefighters or anybody in the emergency services.
All right, first responders.
Yeah, and they do that. They do a great video of in general, but then they always start inserting in wherever he's in the concert local, like he did Lubbock Police, Lubbock Fire, Lubbock Sheriff's Department, Texas Department of Public Safety, and all the different things they do doing the song. And I appreciate so much somebody who really takes the time out of a show like that to really spend time on it. And he did some talk about it, and it was really cool. And it reminds you, because you're like, I'm sitting here with 100,000 people in the world that we live in, crazy ass stuff going on all the time. And there's hundreds, if not thousands of people who have made sure that you're going to come in, grab your little fuzzy drink, sit there, laugh and sing for 5 to 6 hours. And you're going to hopefully, probably more than likely get home alive.
Right, get home safely.
Yeah, and he addressed that. And man, I'm telling you, people, when you guys go to something like this, whether it's these cities like Houston does it all the time, Austin and Lubbock has stuff too. You got to stop and think about who all made that happen to where you got home and you got there, and all you can talk about is the songs you heard. That's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, it's really amazing, like you say, the planning that must go on behind it. I know when we used to go up to Indy all the time, I was watching them assemble the law enforcement people we got there a little bit early, and I was watching, I think these would have been Indiana State Police, and they were in a parking lot setting up, and kind of you could tell they were organized, and they were giving each policeman a bundle of zip ties.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to arrest some people.
The only time I saw a police officer addressing somebody, and I might tell you, it's a big thing. You couldn't see anybody. I'm sure we had some people got out of hand somewhere somehow. The only time I had was it was a guy talking to a guy who might have been selling some illegal merchandise. And that stuff happens a lot, and I'm not even sure if that was the case, but I saw that. But the thing that's interesting to me about how the police handle this is where's that line of, when do we go hard and deal with something, or when do we manage it? They manage it, or you go hard, and they have to make those decisions all the time. But it's just an orchestrated event, and then because of the things that you see, but then there's always all the things you don't see, and we don't need to know.
That's it. You don't see a lot of it.
And we don't need to know all that. We don't want somebody coming on here and telling us, you don't need to know. You need to go and enjoy the concert, but you also need to walk out. I don't want to hear you bitching about police. Everybody's like, this is me, bad police officers as our insurance agents. Big deal. Whoopie-doo. 9,000% of them are, what they do, we should all be appreciative so we can enjoy these sorts of things.
Oh, yeah. People have no appreciation for those guys and gals that are out there putting
crazy
their life on the line every day. And let me tell you, in a town like this, and Lubbock too, but in Houston, let me tell you something. Those guys put the uniform on and go outside, target.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's super dangerous for those guys.
A few years ago,
ladies too.
They also recognize the Texas Tech Police Department, and sometimes we'll laugh about campus police department, but I'll tell you, man, we had an officer a few years ago who was shot brutally inside of the police department there at Texas Tech.
That's
and you look at these universities throughout the country, you look at these people trying to keep these institutions of learning and all these other things, and what they deal with. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. But they're part of that equation too,
Well, it's the same thing here in our
Yeah,
little burg that I live in, Bel Air. We've lost 2 policemen in the last 10 years, I think, and
yeah.
just you wouldn't think in a small town, but it's inside of Houston, like the chief always would say, is like, we're not immune to what's going on around us.
No, you're not. Well, it's like
He
Lubbock
would always
too.
say it's not Mayberry.
Yeah, I mean, we joke about it. We think, well, we're up here in West Texas and nothing happens. You know, everywhere you go, there's something happens. That's almost the worst. So you'd almost think out here people get too comfortable and think, oh, nothing like that. No, I mean, you got to keep
Yeah, you
the
gotta keep your head
exposures
on
are
straight.
everywhere. You got to keep in
They're out
mind.
there. Crazy people are everywhere. And I think it's sometimes when you got a false sense of security, that's when they can really take advantage of a situation when people aren't on guard.
Yeah, I know. So,
You
what's
know,
your favorite George Strait song?
Amarillo by Morning. Told you that the other night.
He kind of I may not have remembered it through some of the things that there was this one evening I looked up and it was 1 o'clock in the morning and we were still on the back porch.
Really? We stayed up that late? I don't usually last that long.
You were up till 1 because we were taking back to your hotel at 1:15. Normally
Mm.
Brent stays with me, but we had some extenuating circumstances. But anyway, yeah. See, and you were, I know that's why I didn't.
Yeah, I love Amarillo by Morning, though. I can sing it. I'm not going to sing it
No, we're
now,
not
but
gonna.
like if he had invited me up on stage, I could sing it with him and it would be good.
That would have been something. That would have been a good promo for us.
Yeah, yeah. We
But
probably
you
just
didn't
need
want
to
to
let him
stay.
know
You didn't
next
stay.
time he has a show, I'll be glad to step up and,
He's got one tonight.
well, maybe I should fly out there,
You should
or
call
he
him.
could send his plane for me.
Just give him a holler. He's a good guy. He likes it here now.
Yeah.
I think he should come back here. I'd say well, he's getting a little older. He should come back. I think he should plan out here maybe once a year or every other year, as long as he wants to do that. Because he's guaranteed to fill that stadium up, no matter how many nights he wants to show up. And I found this out too because what's kind of cool about the size stadium we have, it's not too big compared to like the American Airlines arenas and stuff like that. So they can do these multiple nights, but there were some folks I was talking to the guy the other day, and there were some guys who thought they'd buy some extra tickets because they were going to try to scalp them and all that stuff, which is just drives you crazy. But from what I heard was that didn't work out too well because he did enough shows to where, you know what, if you wanted a ticket,
Well, there wasn't any scarcity, really.
yeah, you could really get a ticket. And I think that that's a great, I mean, talk about when you talk about, well, for them, it is a risk management situation, it's preventing a lot of mayhem and stuff. Man, you just provide the opportunity for whoever wants to come, can come. And
That
I don't,
second show probably created enough seats, if you will, for the show that they didn't really have a scalping problem. It's an
yeah,
interesting
yeah.
concept.
So, I mean, if that was your theory, you might have lost out on that on this trip. But that also means that, thinking about taking care of the consumer and providing enough services for everybody to keep it, as relatively affordable as possible. It's
Right.
always expensive
Reasonably
to go.
affordable.
Yeah, it is to where you can go. So I thought that was kind of a cool concept. These people are smart. There's a lot of smart people out.
Well, and I'm sure George has got great people running it. I mean, there's no reason he wouldn't have the absolute best people in the world running his program. I mean, there just wouldn't be any
No.
reason not to. I
No.
mean,
And I think it's
it-
probably top down, because it's when you have image, and you think of even all of our clients and everybody has an image. Everybody has,
Right.
hey, we need this to go well. We want our services. We want our people to be taken care of. All that is a billion time multiple of what every business owner should be thinking like
Yeah.
that. You really should.
Yeah, you want to make sure everything goes well for your clients, for your family, for everything you're
Yeah.
involved in. You want it to go well.
Yeah, it's
And
just-
nobody wants something bad to happen. I mean, that's the whole point of risk management is that you're trying to prevent something bad from happening so that afterwards it's kind of a no-brainer. People are like, oh, it all went well. Yeah, because there was a lot of planning and thought went into it. It wasn't an accident. That's what I always say. It's not an accident when nothing happens.
Oh,
It's
but-
planned.
But I'm gonna jump back over on the Red Raider side of it. But when you're sitting out there and they had the big double T up there and they had these lights kind of shooting up on it and it's overlooking the whole thing. And then they had the double T over there on the grass, it's so bright. So when they'd get some camera angles of all these guys, there were so many good camera angles with that double T right behind them. People
Well,
were
and you
just
guys-
losing their mind.
You don't have any appreciation
Ah.
for how emotional it is for people like me who never get up there. Like I told you when we went to the BYU game last year and when the mass rider comes on the field, I mean, I was speechless. I mean, because I hadn't seen that in probably 15 or 20 years. In a minute, I was overcome with emotion when they rode onto the field. I was like, wow. And of course, for me, the double T that's in the end zone there is iconic. And there's so many great memories for me and you too, and anybody that went to
Yep.
Tech about being in the Jones and great experiences we had there during the football games and all that. And just seeing the double T, I was so glad they didn't screw up and they brought that thing back and stood
Yeah.
it back up in the end zone, because I kept thinking, what are you people thinking? I mean, you're not
Oh, I
going to
know.
put
I
that
know.
back there? Come
Everybody
on.
kind of
That's
panicked a
who
little
we
bit.
are.
No, but to see that big old thing just kind of subtly over all of that, and then the implementation of some of the graphics. Yeah, it's not a bad thing, my friend. It was the way to spend the night. And it was
I
just
wonder if they'll have a replay of that, like where you can watch it, like a
there's
video of the
probably
concert.
enough videos out there now. I was just on Twitter, and there was a lot of clips, and probably be a lot of YouTube clips that you could see. Some of my pictures, they were kind of blurry. It was the fun thing was, because it's been such a kind of a weird week at our house. We've had some things going on, but we were able to go also with my family. We were there. It wasn't just my wife and I. It was I had my aunt, I had my brother, I had his family, I had our family. And to sit there like with about, 12 people, sitting there watching that's one of those moments where you're just like, we don't get to do this very often.
Right. Yeah, it was
You
a
don't
rare
get to do that
opportunity.
very often. And I would just tell everybody, you get a chance to do something like this, try to do it with as many of your family as you can.
No, that was a good idea, and it was fitting,
Yeah.
for you guys, and it was sort of a gift, if you will.
Well, I mean, it was a gift. It's a hard thing, without going into the details. It was a really special night on a lot of different levels, and people, or it's really the one person. We had one person who made it happen, and then we had some other family members though who had to help them get the tickets together, which was, oh my God, what a task that was. I had some nieces and nephews who pulled that off, which was like, oh my God, how are we going to order all the tickets? But do things like that with your family. Oh my God, because we'll always remember that for
Yeah.
various reasons, but it's worth every penny to go do that. Make a memory, it's so much fun.
Right. And I knew that was going to be a great show. I was so disappointed I didn't get to go, but I knew George Strait in the Jones would just be a lay down natural. I mean, it just couldn't be a better venue for that guy to perform. I mean, it's literally his people.
Yeah, and when they announced it, right? They announced it at one of the Tech football games.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So we were all sitting there, and then they get on the promo and they put on the big board. And I think they were calling it Straight to Texas Tech, and then like boom, and everybody went. And there's no signal, but the tickets were for sale right then. But they announced it, and then it was like 2 days later. I think they announced. I think it started off as a one show, and then after that,
I think you're right. They added that second show.
Real
sold out so
quickly,
fast.
They put on that second show, which is probably why there's a different second opening act, because they had to just kind of move some things around.
But great opening acts. I mean, good grief. Sounds like that guy. I'm not familiar with him. I'm going to have to go check him out.
His name's Zach Top. Like I told you, a lot of you people know about it. If you don't, if you're a country western fan, you know him. I should have known him, but I'm just going to tell you, I bop around in the 80s music. I'm all over the place.
Yeah,
you know how I get in my rut. And that was one thing this taught me, is I need to listen to more. If you're a music lover, I'm such from family who came in from Austin. We bust Austin and stuff. But I will say, in general, they get a much better exposure. Like they'd seen him in some of the venues and the things that go on in Austin. They bring in, of course, a lot more music opportunities, and that's not a bad thing. It'd be better if we did. Lubbock is known for music. Buddy Holly, thank you. I didn't know him, but I'm just saying.
Man, you had lots of. I remember back in the day with Joe Ely. What was that Tornado Jam concert?
Oh, the Tornado Jam, right?
Yeah, that was a big deal back in the day, and there were lots of great live acts that came through there.
We have a lot. I mean, Texas country music coming through Lubbock was very important and still very instrumental. But it seems like that you pretty much have to get down to the Austin area and stuff like that, and that's just part of the thing of getting your name out. And if you want recording contracts, you can't just stay in West Texas. But there's a lot.
You got to move around.
But a lot of them, there's a group of them that have really committed their whole career to just kind of playing up here, which you have to be very appreciative. And then they bring people up. But live music, not bad at all. But But man, these acts were the musicianship. Gosh,
Yeah, they
these
can
guys,
play, man.
watching them play and watching, George Strait's got more of an older band, but the Zach Top guy, yeah, he's a great singer, but man, he can play the guitar. I mean, I'm thinking, what does it take? I just mesmerized by the musicians of these sorts of things.
Oh, how hard it is to learn to play that well. A lot of
Yeah.
people can play a guitar, but can you play like that? No, most
In
people
front
can't.
of that many people, and they did something different. Normally when I've seen George Strait, it's in the round, but he would go from one microphone, he'd walk around. Well, this was a rotating stage, and he even
Oh,
marked
neat.
even after one of the songs he stopped at a song he was talking, he goes, "Yeah, I'm a little dizzy." But I mean,
Can you
it didn't
imagine?
look like it was that fast. But I mean, think about this from a risk management standpoint. So you have all these people standing on that stage. This thing's moving. I mean, so you're concentrating on your performance or playing your instrument. This thing's moving. There's no way that doesn't, the fall hazards. I mean, you think, and then they would have to get off of that and walk downstairs to get off. Dude, I would have been a stumbling fool on
How do
that
they
deal.
connect the wires and keep them from getting all twisted up and
I
spinning around?
don't know, but how do you keep your balance? You're standing up there,
Well,
eye contact with the crowd. You got cameras on you. You're singing, smiling, doing all this stuff, and yet you're moving. And then they'd go one way, and then it goes the other way. And I'd be
oh,
like,
dear Lord.
stop the freaking
Well, they
ship.
probably had to do that to unwind the cables. Literally, they probably had to go back and forth to keep them twisting everything up. But think about this, not just the movement, but the spatial aspect of being in a crowd like that
Yeah,
and the crowd noise and then moving.
yeah.
Man, that would be super
It would be
disorienting.
like Amarillo by morning sickness for me. It would just be like,
Exactly.
hold on just a second, everybody.
Oh,
I'm so
they
glad to
probably
be
he probably had
here.
to turn around and go, "Slow it down. I'm getting sick."
I'm so glad to be here. Yeah, because I'd be
Ah,
staggering off the stage. They'd be like, Shropshire was drunk at the concert. No, I
no.
had the equilibrium like I'd been out hunting sea bass for 6 hours doing to me.
That's
I'd be like,
hilarious.
look, somebody stop this moronic show or speed it up and stop it. Get me to the spot and stop it.
Man, I gotta tell you though, I really enjoyed being back out there. I always
It's always
forget how
fun.
much I like the light and space of the Cap Rock, and I always call it that because to me, when I would drive up there, when you really hadn't arrived until you jumped up. Where is it between Post and Slayton?
Yeah,
Where you
you
kind of
come. Well,
jump
it's
up on it,
actually in post. As soon as you leave the city, you start your climb.
right? And
That's
I
when you
always
pass.
that for me coming from down here, it
Yeah,
was always like, wow, my ears would pop, and it was really kind of a thing. And I was like, oh, I'm back up on the Cap Rock again.
that's right.
And then in fact, I was telling my Uber driver that on the way from the airport. The guy goes, "Yeah, I just moved here, and I'm still kind of getting used to the flat." I'm like, "It's a thing." And I said, "You've never been in a place where you can see the horizon all the time like that." And I said, "When you get
It
a
is strange.
full moon rise in the east, it's an amazing thing to see, and just the way the light and the space of the place, it's different.
Well, we had
It's
some pretty cool sunsets too when you were here.
Yeah, the
I
weather
mean,
was absolutely perfect. It wasn't even that windy. I mean, normally out there it's 20, 25-mile-an-hour wind just kind of by default.
well, we do that so it keeps certain people from moving here. See, if everybody really knew what it was like to live here, we don't want all that. We
That's
need
what we
to,
always say about Houston. If it wasn't a billion degrees, everyone in the world would live here.
yeah, and we're not trying to keep Lubbock weird like some other places. We just want to keep Lubbock uncrazy. You know what I'm
Lubbock,
saying?
Lubbock. Yeah,
Unweird.
I
There's
agree.
other places in the state to go. Lubbock, unweird. You
Yeah, and
like
I
weird.
enjoyed being there though, because I always forget until I'm there for a couple days in a row. I'm like, oh man, I really like this place, and I forgot why. And you got to come out and stay a few days, and kind of get
Yep.
back into the groove a little bit. But man, I really, I always forget because I lived out there for almost 6 years. So
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
really did.
I was there for a while, and I miss it, and it's always. But I got to tell you how much it's changed. I mean, I was shocked, and I was telling my friend Tracy, who went around with over at the fraternity house and all that, and I was like, dude, I just can't believe how different this city is
Yeah.
from when I was out here in the '80s. It is just completely different town. Um, in so many ways. I mean, y'all have freeways and stuff going through there
Yeah,
now, and
you have to grow some, or and we've benefited from unfortunately and fortunately some of the smaller towns. They're drying up a little bit. It's really the thing that drives a lot of it is healthcare and people getting older and need to be
right,
closer to the hospital systems.
right. And
It's
always
not
forget y'all have got that big health science center
Yeah,
out
it's not
there.
that there's a problem with the small town because the small towns are fantastic. It's just that you find that people are having to move to a little bit more because with the technology world we're in and everything, you kind of have to be close to it, especially if you start getting older. You start
Yeah,
going,
you need services, you
yeah,
need
and I
medical
hate that though
services, and
because the small town flavor is what, that's always good for everybody. The small towns
yeah,
kind of
but
keep
y'all have it. You don't even know it. You
Yeah,
think
we
you're
do.
living in a big town. You're really not.
Well, no. No, I don't I think you could set like 20 of Lubbocks inside of Houston. I don't
Or
think that
50.
there's no thing about it. But yeah, I
You
would
got to
tell
remember, we
everybody,
have in the greater Houston area, we have like 8 million people.
yeah, see, we're 250. What is that? Yeah, we could put like 16 of us in there.
Yeah, it's
God, I'd never
totally
move
different
there.
animal.
Yeah, you're a whole different guy. But since you lived here over 5 years, I believe that grants you at least kind of a partial
I have
membership.
partial citizenship. I
Partial.
think I have dual citizenship.
Yeah, it's not really a key to the city. You may get like a garage door opener.
Yeah, exactly. I have
And
a
we could
garage door
change the
opener.
code, but right now you're in.
I'm okay right now. Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
good way to look at it. Partial.
Fellow Red Raiders, you got to get back and come see your campus. You got to come back and come visit the
Man,
school.
come back and
It's
look
good
at your
for everybody.
school. I enjoy going back to fraternity house. I hadn't been there in a long, long time. I saw some pictures of myself from back in the day that were pretty humorous and had
Yeah.
a mullet.
Well, you got to
who'd
get your
think?
friends. We were talking about the other day that Houston Cougar game coming up in the fall is going to be on a Friday, I believe. It's going to be a fun weekend. This is a weekend for everybody to come in. If you haven't been here in a while, come in and come to the game. Come out and see the Risk Raiders. We'll find a place somewhere where we can legally broadcast to a
I want
show
to see
somewhere.
if I can pop up this picture. I can't believe how long my hair was in this thing.
God, are we flashback in here?
We might be going to do a little flashback.
Hold on. Hold on,
I know how
everybody.
to share the screen. Let me see if I can make this work.
Come on, man. You can do it. You can do it. Have faith.
That work?
Dude, that's like, I don't know.
That's 1982.
Right now, the digital police officers are going, we found him.
we
found the kid.
There he is.
That's awesome, man.
My God.
What's wrong with the haircut? You need to bring that back.
I don't know if I don't have enough hair to grow it like that anymore.
Yeah, you
All right, we've seen enough of that.
I love that idea. I think that was good.
A white mullet.
No, the way you were making it sound like it was going to be worse than that. You thought it was going to be. All right, hold on just a sec here. I'm going to see if I can throw. Can I share? Let me see if I can share one for you. Let me see if I can do this.
Oh.
No, this isn't bad. This isn't bad. You're going to be all right. But boom. There we go. Share that. That was it. That was last night. Look at that, Red Raider fans.
Jeez, look at that.
That was the 50-yard line on the west side looking east. That's the stadium setup.
Wow.
Look at all the people.
It's like those pictures you see of people going back to Mecca.
Yeah, we're going to promote it that way, but we also don't have anybody trying to do us harm. But that, my friends,
beautiful.
That is an event. Is that not with the red and all that? They were flashing those lights and everything. And I'm like, dude, I got to try to catch this. And I was so nervous because I took so many bad pictures that I was like, this has got to go. And it's not perfectly clear, but that'll give you an idea of what a concert can look like at the Jones. So if you're a Tech fan, that's why
incredible.
If we ever get to do that again of anybody, we're all going. That's all there is to it.
Incredible.
Isn't that incredible?
Is awesome, dude.
That was fun.
And of course, I'm sure there's lots of iconic shots.
Oh, people have done there's so many better shots than that. That was just me. I normally don't take pictures, but I was like, I got to try. But there's some great ones out there. Y'all should go to YouTube or go Twitter handle. So people are really good at that.
Yeah, I bet it was incredible.
And let's do this. Hey, any Red Raider people, you got your own photos. Don't send us anybody else's photos.
Oh, post them.
Post your photos on our comment section of this.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate this. We don't want anything improper or pictures like this. If you could put things like this to give the vibe, let's show people how the Red Raiders do it. And boy, you get somebody like that band there, like George Strait and Zach Top. got to do it again. Let's try to get some more of those concerts at the Jones. It's fantastic.
Yeah, 100%
Good times.
agree. All right.
Man, we've gone overtime, but I could talk about this all day, but it was great. And I would like to say thank you to everybody out there who made it safe, everybody who did all the risk management things for us. Thank you very much for doing that. Make sure you thank your police officers, your firefighters, everybody else who makes sure our lives are safe. That was a great reminder. And man,
Yeah,
I'd like to say thanks
absolutely.
again to my family, just personally, for going, getting tickets, doing all that great stuff. It was so much fun. We're going to have to do
Thanks
that
for
again.
hosting me this week. I enjoyed being
Well,
up there.
anytime, my friend.
You know,
Sorry we didn't cut the show live, but we'll be doing that some other times. We couldn't do it in the place we were.
yeah, right.
It would have been like, ugh. It would have just been like 30 minutes of that.
Yeah.
or it would have been 30 minutes
Guys,
of apologies. I'm sorry.
Snore. I didn't mean it.
Did I cry? I don't think I cried. All right. Listen, everybody, have a great week. Appreciate you watching Risk Raiders. Like us on the YouTube channel, like us on LinkedIn, just like us. And then do post.
Like us.
Post your
and
comments.
Post some stuff. Yeah, post some questions or comments or something like that.
If you went to the show.
Yeah.
If you went to the show, post some things. Post also who you would like your next concert. Hey, Red Raider fans, whoever else you'd want to see in that picture on the next time. Yeah. Post it here. Let's start doing this as a tradition and get people back home to come have some fun. That'd be awesome.
Excellent.
Enjoyed it, my friend. Great show. Right. Great to talk to you.
See everybody next weekend, and don't forget, guns up, baby.
That's what they say.
All right. Take care.
You too.